Welcome to the second session of learning the chapter Introducing Indian Society. In the previous class, we were going through some important topics. The last point we were discussing was how to deal with society, how we can approach sociology. I might think that you are remembering the points. The main point was that we have to combine different viewpoints together. Then a clear picture can be formed in our mind about society. Today, I wanted to capture your minds to these topics: self-reflexivity, social map, functions of sociology, deeper functions of sociology, and how one forms social map. First one, self-reflexivity. Self-reflexivity means we are reflecting upon ourselves. In a simple way, I wanted to tell you that by means of an example, you are standing in front of a mirror. So, you can look at yourself from the mirror. As you are standing in front of the mirror, you can reflect upon yourself. The author is making us more clear by telling self-introspection. It means looking into yourself from outside. Why we need to look into ourselves? Normally, we are looking at others. We wanted to find out the wrong things in others. We wanted to find out the mistakes in others. Instead of that, sociology tells you to look into yourself, as there are positive and negative sides in you. You can look into yourself, you can correct yourself, and you can become a complete human being. That is a function of self-reflexivity. Our identity can be formed, understood, not only by means of our understanding about us. There should be understanding from others also about us. So we have to make self-introspection, and we can convey a sort of personality which is complete. We can become a better human being. That is what sociology aims at. That is what we have to achieve in our life. When we learn other subjects may be taught to you for profession, for knowledge, but sociology will give you a golden opportunity to look at yourself and to correct you. This is all about self-reflexivity. Next point, social map. In the next paragraph, page number 3, first paragraph, the author is comparing social map and geographical map because he wanted to teach us social map by giving example of geographical map. We all know that geographical map gives physical features of a country, of a state, of a district, of land. But the social map gives individual details. Social map simply means that this is the map of a society. When we compare social map and geographical map, social map gives individual details. The geographical map gives the physical features of a land. Next point is that social map gives you idea about your relationship with others. For example, you can form a social map on the basis of your family. In your family, father is there, mother is there, relatives are there, your parents are there, grandparents are there. So, there is a structure of relationships which we cannot draw like that of physical map, which we can form in our mind. How you are related to your parents, how you are related to your grandparents, how you are related to your relatives, how you are related to your neighbors, so that there will be a structure which is invisible, which can be formed by means of common sense. If you cannot make a proper relationship with others, you cannot form a social map in your mind. You should build up social relationships only when you can form social map. This is all about social map. What about geographical map? Geographical map can compare two states in a country on the basis of population, on the basis of size, on the basis of land, whether it is hilly area or plain. In such a way, geographical map will give you ideas, but social map will give you idea about social relationships. And next paragraph also continues with the same topic of social map. The next paragraph clearly gives you what is the function of a social map. What is the function of a social map? The function of social map is comparing human beings on the basis of their age, their occupation, their language, their religion, and social relationships. I wanted to make it more clear to you. When you look at a society, we can see adolescent. It means what? A group of boys and girls who belong to particular age group. Social map can give you ideas about the age structure. It means the people who belong to different age groups. And social map can give you idea about linguistic details. In your society, there are people who speak different languages. On the basis of that, we can form what we can say idea about people who speak different languages. Next, social work can compare people on the basis of their occupation. Through that, we can understand society because there is a hierarchical level. Higher class is there, middle class is there, lower class is there. On the basis of occupation, on the basis of economic class, we can compare people. Next one, on the basis of religion, we can compare people. In this way, the society can be formed by including the people who are different in terms of age, in terms of religion, in terms of occupation, in terms of caste. Higher caste people are there, lower caste people are there. This is all about this paragraph which talks about the functions of social mark. Next paragraph talks you about the deeper functions of sociology. What are the deeper functions of sociology? We can see the name C. Wright. He is an American sociologist. He gives us the deeper functions of sociology. The first point is that sociology can address individual problems. All the people, all the individuals are having his or her own problems. We are having tensions, we are having individual identities. So, this is the function of sociology to address individual problems. In our family also, in our society also, sometimes people may not be comfortable with because they are facing problems. The students are facing problems. Some students who are not able to achieve goals properly, they will be in tension. The parents, the conflict between the father and the son, the conflict between the parents and a daughter, there is individual worries. The boys and girls, they are worried about their future. This is all about the individual, what we can say, functions that sociology has about each and every individual. Next, the sociology addresses social problems. The best example is the COVID-19. Because of this, this has become a universal issue. People are suffering. People are frustrated. This is the function of sociology to address to such problems. So, it can find out solutions. What are the problems? Why it is caused? And solutions. So, studying sociology is very much important for us. What are the social problems? First one, generation gap. Our father, our mother, our grandparents, they are having a sort of different culture in the style of dressing, in this style of what we can say language. In many ways, they are different from their children. So, there arises conflict between the children and their parents. Generation gap is there. Next one, unemployment. Sociology addresses about this problem, unemployment. A lot of educated young men are living in our society, but they don't have job. So sociology is emphasizing this problem to alert, to make the government alert. It will make into the notice of government about unemployment. Next one, communalism. Communalism is a major social issue. Communalism means what? People who are loyal, who likes their religion very much. They are loyal to their religion. They are very much proud about their religion. They don't want to listen to the values of other religions. This is called communalism. It creates problems in our society. Communalism is a divisive force which can divide people into different sections. Because of that, people are fighting each other. In India also we can see on the basis of communalism, people are fighting each other. Last year many problems happened here. So, sociology addresses this problem and also try to find out solutions for this problem. Next one, casteism. In our society, casteism is there. Higher caste people are there, lower caste people are there. Higher caste people are thinking that they are superior to the lower caste people. And the lower caste people are victimized by the higher caste people. Everywhere, the status and position are achieved by the higher caste people. This is also another divisive force in our society. All human beings are not considered to be equal. This is another social evil that we have to understand. Sociology tries to address this problem, and sociology is the subject which can remove the thought of casteism from our mind. We have to consider all human beings in an equal way, because we don't know when we are in need who will help us. So we have to respect everybody irrespective of their color, caste and creed. There should not be any obstacle in front of me or you to make negative remarks about other people. We all should be very much careful about our feelings. Our feelings should not be controlled by communalism, casteism. It should be genuine, should be holy. We have to consider that all human beings are equal. This is all about what we can say the deeper functions of sociology. The last paragraph for this session will be how one forms social map. This is an important topic. How we are forming social map. We can draw the picture of a geographical map. We can draw Indian map. It is easy for us, but it is never easy to draw a social map, because a social map can be formed in our mind. You should be able to build social awareness. In your family, you can form a social map by understanding your relationship with your family members. You can form a structure there. How you are related to your father, to your mother, to your grandparents, to your sister, to your brother, to your relatives, so that you can form a social map. You should have a common sense. Your mental ability should be strong to draw a social map. If you don't have common sense, if you don't have social awareness, you cannot form a social map in your mind. So be careful. You should have social awareness. You should be empathetic. You should be sympathetic to the social problems. You have to identify people. You have to consider the fact that all human beings are equal. Only when we can build up relationships with others, only when we can form a social map in our mind. So, social map can be formed by means of social perspective. You should have idea about society. You have to form a structure by means of social relationship. In a social map, you can find out your location, where you are standing. As you are adolescent, you are in the group of adolescents in the age group. Then in your family, what is your location? You can find out. You are a daughter, you are a son, you have father, you have mother, you have brothers, relatives. In your school, how you are related to your friends. In such a way, you can find out your location on the basis of religion, which religion you belong. So there is a group, which age you belong, age structure is there, which language you speak, linguistic details are there. You should have such awareness only when you can form a social map. In the page number 4, you can see a boy who is very much worried about his location, because this map clearly shows you that your location is surrounded by boundaries. Which are the boundaries? Age boundaries, regional boundaries, economic boundaries, religious boundaries, and caste boundaries. It shows that you are different from others. You can find out your location, your identity in the society by means of a social map. This is all about this session. I wanted to encapsulate the ideas by means of self-reflexivity. It means you are reflecting upon yourself. Then functions of sociology, before that social map. Then deeper functions of both social and individual functions of sociology, how one forms social map. You should have awareness about social relationships. This is all about this session 2 of learning, introducing Indian society. I believe that all are understanding what I am teaching. Please read the chapter, understand the chapter, so we can make our learning useful and complete. Thank you.